Many of you may already know the fire in Los Angeles. It may seem really rare, but it's actually not in California because of its dry weather and its dry climate. For example, in April 18th, 1906 in San Francisco, there was an earthquake that's level 7.3 to 8.6. It affects everywhere in the city and causes almost every destruction in the city. Therefore, the fire department starts working. And the chief of the fire department died at the start of the fire. And the fire department was also in a chaos. So they found Frederick Hunston to make an evacuation zone by explosive. It may be really abnormal to use explosives in a fire scene because it could cause even more fire. So it's a really risky move, but they need to try since the fire get out of control. To make explosive work for the fire, you need to have really good control on the type of the explosive you're using and the amount of explosive you're using. So they found John Birmingham, who's an explosive worker at the explosive factory for 20 years. He was actually drunk when he was working for the fire department. But at least he didn't die like the chief of the fire department. So they found him to make an evacuation zone by explosives. And they found Frederick Hunston for the bomb in the army. And then Frederick Hunston was really happy to take a service for San Francisco. So he gave him every explosive that he can find. But the people who work in the fire department and the army men don't know any scientific knowledge like those explosive workers and the chief of the fire department. Therefore, they literally put gunpowder into the fire. Some of you may know that gunpowder is not actually explosive, but it's a good supportive for the fire, which means it caused 40 more fires, and it burned the whole Chinatown to make an evacuation zone. But it actually didn't work since there's wind from the Pacific Ocean, and the explosive didn't really work because they throw every type of explosive to the evacuation zone. This caused even more destruction, and because of the dry weather and the dry climate of California, it spreads to everywhere in the city. If there wasn't a fire on the day next to the earthquake, the whole city will be destroyed. San Francisco will not be on the map anymore. But luckily, that didn't happen. Thanks to Jesus Christ who made the rain, and maybe some of the army men and the fire department who actually made a pretty good evacuation zone through burning down Chinatown and other streets. So after that, 50% of the people became homeless in San Francisco because half of the city was burned. And then maybe you think that people in San Francisco is really unhappy about the thing that fire department do and the big fire and the earthquake, but they're actually not. This is because that in 1900s, there are already many insurance companies that's selling insurance to the people. So some of them literally burned their own home to get the insurance because earthquake doesn't mean they will get the insurance. So the fire actually spread even more because of that. The second reason why they're happy is because many illegal immigrants from other countries can get their citizenship. And because the documentary center of San Francisco was burned after the fire, many immigrants can get US citizenship because it was burned. Lastly, Army and the fire department actually do their best job. The Army did a well job on protecting mail office, post office, and other really important infrastructures for the government. And fire department did their best for making an evacuation zone and evacuate like as much people as possible, but they just put gunpowder into the fire. So that's one of their dark history. So at this point, you may know why California is so easy to get on fire, because of their bad climate, dry climate, and their lack of water. Thank you.